a lot of these comments, earning the money to pay for it. Money, money,
Mm.
a lot of money comments.
Yeah.
Any advice for people on that end? Maybe are there ways to get your feet wet in the sport that is a little bit more cost effective? Um,
Mm. I
like
think so.
what would you say for the people that are commenting money?
If they're stressing about that stuff, I would say try not to go for the biggest and best and brightest. You know, like there are plenty of like decent used bikes on the internet. You know, you can go to marketplace and find a decent 2020, 2017, 2016, 2015. Like you don't need the best and brightest bike out there to be able to enjoy the sport. You don't need the latest and greatest Dunlop tires. You don't need the latest and greatest, gear. There find ways to make it affordable for yourself. Maybe it's secondhand stuff, which no one's gonna know, no one's gonna snicker at, Um, and just really focusing on the things that are beneficial to you. You don't need to go out there and get an FMF pipe. You don't need to go out there and do like, $250, $300 seat covers and super slick. Dude, get the seat cover that's all black, that gives you good grip, and be on your way. Grab the grips that are $5, grab the $10 levers, from do stuff like that to keep it affordable for yourself. I see people all the time, they're like, dude, I want to get this sick new part, but I got to save up for 2 weeks, just for this one part of it. And then I'm going to put that money towards this and then I'm like, dude, why don't you just buy the cheaper? Why do you need the $500 version when the $50 version is just as good? Like, are you doing it just for the logo? So I'd say try stuff like that. That is beneficial. Now, I will not say skimp on like crucial elements. Helmets, I will say go with the best for your price range, and always, if you're able to, go for the top of the line helmets, top of the line boots. Make sure you have those foundational things. But dude, gloves and stuff like that. I'm gonna rep FXR all day. But if you can't, do it affordably, dude, there's plenty of times when I was racing freaking Chaparral brand Ocelot gear, which is like a polyester plastic jersey. There's ways to keep it affordable.
Yeah, I've had students show up to class with gardening gloves on before.
Yeah.
It worked.
Honestly, yeah,
It worked.
honestly, yeah. And usually in the TMA community, like if you show up and you're like, man, I cannot afford some, dude. We've got so many promo codes. I always walk around with like 4 or 5 sets of gear. Like if hit up your buddies, like talk to some of the coaches, talk to the community. I mean, it's a great community. I wouldn't say rely on this all the time. Like show up and like, hey, I need to borrow some gas. But like, talk to the local community, man, and make sure that you have what you need. And those steer you in the right direction. But yeah, there are ways to keep it affordable.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good advice. I also, anytime I hear somebody talk about not being able to afford something, the first
Hmm.
place my mind always goes to is just wondering where their limiting belief is around money in some
Yes.
way, shape, or form,
Hmm.
right? Because that to me shows there's a little bit of discontent in the lifestyle you want to have, or maybe the things you want to be doing, and how much money you're earning, and you're not able to do those things.
Yeah.
Um, that sucks. That sucks. And
Yeah.
I, for me, most of my life, I know that I had just a straight up limiting belief on how much money I thought that I could earn.
Hmm.
And I think subconsciously a lot of people have a number in their head of how much money they think they can earn. So question that a little bit too. Try to raise that thermostat a little bit, raise
Yes.
that ceiling a little bit, and you might be surprised. Don't have to always worry about the how either. It's like
Hmm.
change the limiting belief a little bit. And if the why, forget about worrying about the how, but if the why is so that I can have more time to be spent with my family and doing riding my dirt bike because it's my favorite hobby, that's a good why,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Um, and who knows? Maybe life will present itself with an opportunity, and next thing you know, you're making $100,000 a year instead of $30,000 a year. If you guys enjoyed this podcast clip and you want to listen to full episodes, you can do so on Spotify and Apple Music. If you want to send in your own video submission, you can join us in the Moto Academy family inside of the Moto Academy app by just going to themotoacademy.com. That's also where you can sign up for a class. Okay, guys, see you next episode.